Hey everybody, Robert from Eco Fishing Shop. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the Elite Pro Angler rudder, and we're going to start with our lines tied here in the front, just like you get it from the factory. And we're going to start at the back here, so take your cover off back there, and we're going to start with these outer two lines. Those outer two lines are going to be tied back here on those outer two loops. The tying point to make sure that your lines aren't going to pull through whenever you set up the front. On both sides here, I just kind of went around the line a couple times and did an overhand knot just to keep it secure for whenever I tie the front and make sure it doesn't pull through. And I did that for the other side here as well. It doesn't need to be anything super special, just has to hold for whenever we're going to tie the front. And go to the front and pull those lines, make sure that rudder is straight, and then you can start in the front. So now that we're at the front, we're going to make our top line. The first line we're going to tie on here. Just take that handle, no screw, no anything. Just take that handle and point it towards the front of the kayak. You're going to take that line and go over that top guide there. And you're not going to go in any holes or anything. Just go over that top guide. Then we're going to come to the bottom half here. And you see that second hole? We're going to go in that second hole. Put that line through there. It's going to look a little tricky here, but just pull that line through there and make sure your line's in the guide. And then we're going to tie a knot under here eventually to keep that line from coming through the back of that hole. And you want to make sure your line is tight there. And we're going to tie a knot real fast here. Just cinch that down. And then after that, we're going to stuff all of that line, extra line that you have after you tie your knot, into that handle for that top piece. After you're done with that top piece, you're going to take your bottom line and do the exact same thing you did with the top line. It's just mirrored. So you're going to take that line, come over your guide, and eventually go into your top hole, your second hole from the bottom to the top. It's going to go through there, and then you're just going to tie another double overhand knot, just something wide enough to keep that knot from coming through. And it's okay if your lines come out of that guide. Your top line, your bottom line are going to want to come out of that guide while you're doing this, and that's normal. You just want to make sure whenever you put the handle on that those lines aren't outside of that guide that they make for you. Now that everything's tied up and ready to go, both lines are tight, the upper and the lower half. All you need to do is shove the rest of that line there in the back up into the handle. It'll give her a cleaner and better look on the kayak overall. So after we get those lines shoved up in there, you're basically just going to grab your screw with your washer, and it'll go screw, washer, spacer. You want to have that spacer to keep that handle in line. So you want to keep that spacer on there, keep the handle tight against the kayak, push that all up on there, and then basically just screw her in. And once you screw it in, we're going to go to the back and untie your line, and you basically just want to retie it. That way you don't have any play in your handle before you go out on the water. And the lines will stretch, so you might need to redo this a couple times, but just make sure your rudder and your handle is straight up in the front. So you want to make sure that handle's straight up there. You don't want it to be like down. You want it to be straight. So then you make that line right wherever it's straight, a knot right there. And then after you tie that knot, everything should be good on that right side. Our left side ended up not needing to be retied, so we just left it. So now we have our rudder lines hooked up, and our rudder's turning very nice. And you can see down here on the bottom side, our rudder's turning nice as well. So everything is hooked up and ready to go. Hopefully this video helped you hook up your Elite Pro Angler rudder. Appreciate a subscribe and comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next time.